Yo, what's going on everybody? It's Zombo here, and today I have a little bit of an informative video for you guys to talk about some new features and things that we're gonna have on the channel. Recently, we hit 500 subscribers, which is a big milestone for small creators like myself who are kind of maybe up and coming, if you want to call it that. I guess it depends how much faith you have in me. And so at 500 subscribers, we gain two big features. One is supers and one is members. So let's just quickly talk about those things. So before we talk about supers and members, I just want to make this very abundantly clear before we talk about this. These are completely optional features. The only reason I'm talking about this is because there are new things on the channel, and I just want to make you guys aware of it. So when you guys see stream looking different, you guys see these things popping up, you guys know what is happening. Also, you guys know that this is an option for you guys if you guys would like to do it. But again, completely optional. There's no obligations, there's no nothing. Just letting you guys know. So something I want to say for all of these new features that are coming with the supers and the membership stuff, I want it to be very plainly noted to you guys that all of the money that comes from the memberships, the supers, even as it's been on the channel with the Streamlabs, all of the money that comes from that stuff is reinvested into the channel. You guys will be able to see, you know, more quality content, whether that be on a software standpoint, on a device standpoint, you know, being able to get a better webcam, you know, getting a better mic or another mic, because something I struggled with the Wheel of Torture stream when I was going back and forth was, you know, okay, I gotta move the mic over there, move the mic back, move the mic over. Like having that kind of thing, it might allow me to do like a cooking stream with the camera. Also getting a mic that will work better for a mobile setup where I'm moving around rather than sitting in front of a microphone like this. Like that's the kind of stuff that would be invested in that will allow me to do additional content, more avenues of content for you guys, as well as access to just more things in general. But I just want to make that abundantly clear that it will be reinvested in the channel in ways that are going to be seen by you in one way or another. So first off, let's talk about supers. I think this is the more simplistic thing to talk about. There are 3 different super features that you can kind of do. The first super feature you can do on any video that I've ever uploaded. Underneath the video itself, you'll see a button there that says thanks with a $ heart next to it. And that is basically super thanks. And so what you can do with that is it's just a way to, I guess, show your appreciation for the videos that I make, and you basically attach a dollar amount to it. The next 2 all have to do with live streams specifically. The first one being super chat, which super chat is basically being able to type a message, just like when you use a third-party software. It works the same way as that, same way that I've been using Streamlabs, except in this case, it's all in-house inside of YouTube. Just like the other system, you can type your message and say whatever you want to say. It'll also show up at the top of Stream Chat as a little notification there with the dollar amount that you did, and it'll stay there with your name for X amount of time. I think it depends on how much the tip is for. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm still trying to learn some of the stuff myself, as I'm not overly familiar with how all this stuff works. The second thing that is stream specific is super stickers. So super stickers are basically like GIFs that you send in chat. They'll show up really big, unlike an emoji. It'll be like a full image. Think of it more like if you're using Discord and you send a GIF, and it is GIF, it is not GIF. GIF is a brand of peanut butter. It just shows up like that, and then people will chat after it, and you'll move up with the chat and all that kind of stuff. So something else that I'm able to do on the back end is I can set super goals. And super goals are basically, I can have a target of, hey, this is, if you guys do this many super chats, and I can set like the minimum dollar value, I can set the quantity, and the duration I can technically set, but it's very limited from what I saw. Like up to like 3 hours is the longest period of time I can do. And if you guys hit said target in that amount of time, then said goal happens. So I set a goal. I could be like, if we get 5 super chats of $5 or more within 3 hours, I will shave my face and leave only a mustache on or something like that. Just as an example. And maybe I'll do that, I don't know. Other than that though, I think that's the gist of supers. So with that said, let's talk about members. Members is probably the more important thing here than supers, because for all intents and purposes, super is just a YouTube way of doing the tips that we've already been doing on the channel. Members, on the other hand, are more of a, I guess it's more of a subscription type thing. And this is honestly the cooler feature to me. So before we get into what the different tiers of membership are, because there are separate tiers, so depending on the dollar amount you guys want to spend, again, it's an optional feature. You do not have to do this. Depending on which tier that you select, you get different benefits. Now, I want to make this very clear that these benefits that I have currently set up right now are kind of the minimum. And what I mean by that is I'm a very small channel. I have no idea how many people are even interested in becoming members on this channel or will be interested in becoming members on this channel. Certain things are very difficult to do if I only have like a handful of members. So moving forward in the future, if I were to gain a larger amount of members, it would open up more avenues for me. When that kind of situation happens, it means that I can add more features to these roles. So I do want to note here as well, outside of what the descriptions of each tier say, there are some like passive benefits to being a member that are just universal and are just implemented on the channel. One of the things that you're able to do is you can highlight one message a month in live chat. So you're able to highlight messages in the chat so it's more visible to be able to see it and draws more attention to it. So it's less likely for me to miss it in chat, which some of you guys know I can sometimes miss chats and things. It's just a way to draw more attention to it, and you just get one for free a month. For free, right? Because you have to be a member, but it's just a passive that you get by being a member, which is pretty cool. I think normally that's linked to the super chat to highlight your message. Additionally, if I have 8 or more members, your YouTube icon actually shows up on the channel page, which is pretty cool. There's only so many that can fit on the channel page, but it like cycles. I think each time you refresh the page, new people pop up to showcase. But just a nice little feature just to show some representation that, hey, I'm a member. Apparently that kind of stuff also shows up in the description. The same way it does on the channel, it just shows some profile icons for some members, and then it cycles through, I think, every time you refresh the page. I think it acts as a nice way to say thank you to you guys, to have you guys on the channel page and in the video descriptions. Quite frankly, I could not thank you enough if you guys do, support me that way. So our first tier that we have is the pack member tier, and this one is running at $5. This tier is the base tier. It'll give you access to loyalty badges. Loyalty badges are essentially a badge that will appear next to your name in chat, and it'll change color as you stay a member. So if you're a member for 6 months, you'll get a different color than when you first started. After a year, that kind of thing will evolve as your time does. So if you were to stay a member through 48 months is like the last tier of the color changing, then you'd have like the maximum loyalty badge. It doesn't really do anything other than it shows just how long you've been a member, basically the level of constant support that you've had, which is awesome for me to see, for sure. Seeing some of those colors later on are gonna be crazy to me, but obviously I can't even see the 4-year one until 48 months from now, but that'll be crazy to see that. Probably the highlights of memberships, and it is limited to memberships because quite personally, I'd kind of think it'd be cool if everybody could just use this, but it is a membership only feature, and that is emojis. So emojis are ones that I can put my own emojis in there. You guys can use them in chats, spam them, whatever the hell you want to do, and they're very channel specific. I could have a coaster on there because that's a little running meme, a cheeky smile type thing. Now, when you start out this membership program as a content creator side of things, you can only have 4 emojis. However, this is something that grows as your community of members grows. So right now I have 0 members, which means I can only have 4 emojis. As if I get 2 more members and I have 2 total, then I can have 5 emojis. And then it goes, and once I have 5 members, I can get another one, 10 members. And it kind of goes like that, and we can grow more and more emojis as the community of members grows, which is pretty cool. So the third and final feature of the pack member tier is member only posts. So this is just a nice way for me to be able to communicate with you guys. This is more than just what I do currently in the community tab of being like, oh guys, are you interested in Jackbox? Oh guys, here's this update, no stream this week for this. This is more in depth. This is like, so this week I'm spending some time and I'm trying to set up XYZ, or I'm starting to work on a retrospective type video, and kind of giving you little tidbits on that. So a little bit more behind the scenes. It might even have like some more life update type stuff. I can attach photos to these posts then as well. So you guys, maybe I'm sharing a photo of something that I did, if it's like just a life update. You know, it's kind of just a deeper way to get into the channel and behind the scenes of it. I plan to share earlier some of the content that I'm working on. You know, for some bigger items that I want to be a surprise, I won't say exactly what it is, but I'll give you progress updates on it. Oh, I'm working on this. I'm trying to get this bit done this weekend and working towards XYZ. So it's a little bit more of that. Or if I'm trying to pursue something on the channel, like I've talked in the past about, you know, rebranding the channel a little bit. If I'm giving updates on that, you're getting like the progress reports, if you will. So the next tier that we have is Pack Spirit, and this one is $15 US. So this one I was having a bit of a harder time getting stuff of value without being a larger community of members and knowing exactly what the best thing to do is. So I just want to note that this Pack Spirit tier is definitely a tier that needs to grow yet and just expand. I do admittedly feel like this tier is more if you just want to give a little more at the moment. I do have benefits on this tier. I think only certain people necessarily care about it, and it only has so much value, and I acknowledge that. So just know that if we were to accumulate more members, this is the area of growth that we would have. For example, having like specific member only streams where we can do something, whether that is, you know, if we want to do just chatting stream, an art stream, if there's a certain game that we want to play together, if it's a Jackbox member only party stream. But that's the kind of thing to kind of expect for growth in here. The point that I'm trying to make is that this is definitely a flex area. These are just the starting traits of it. Something to keep gaining in value in the future as the community grows. So starting off with the first thing here is Pokemon naming. So how this is going to currently work, and it would change if the channel grew too much, but since the channel is pretty small and I don't even know how many members are going to be in this tier at all, the way that this Pokemon naming works is you would pick a Mon from every single generation of Pokemon that is not a form of legendary or mythic Pokemon. And whenever I catch that Pokemon in a Pokemon game, that Mon will eternally be named after you. So if you're like, I really like Kangaskhan, I like Aerodactyl, I like Kricketune, then you're like, okay, I want them to be named Dan after yourself, or you can just pick a name. You can say Sunshine and Daisies. So you can basically pick one of every generation. You don't have to pick the same name for each one of those Pokemon every generation. I don't think that's important, but you can pick one from every generation of Pokemon. Because depending on what Pokemon game I'm playing, certain generations aren't even going to exist in that game, which is why I think it's important to pick one of every generation for this. And then when it comes to legendary Pokemon, you can only pick one legendary Pokemon across all the generations to add. And that doesn't count towards your one of that generation. So if you picked Mewtwo, you know, you can still pick Charmander if you want for your regular Pokemon. So the way that this one would change in the future is, you know, if I were to get like a bunch of members and I had like 500 members in this tier, I obviously can't do one Pokemon from every single generation because there's not enough Pokemon for that. So if that was the case, it would just be one Pokemon that's regular. So it'd have to adjust accordingly depending on, you know, the size of the community. I think the Pokemon name is a bit more of a minor tier though, because this is only applicable when I'm playing a Pokemon game. I'm not a Pokemon only channel. This is just something I've seen on Pokemon only channels, and Pokemon is something that I really like doing, and I will definitely be doing more of throughout the future, doing like randomizers. I really like doing the PNP Nuzlocks, and I wouldn't be opposed to creating more Nuzlocks beyond a D&D one. So this is just something that will carry through to the future. So the second thing of the Pack Spirit tier is priority in game together streams. I think this is definitely the highlight of this tier because this is the only other perk that I have specifically in this tier. If we're playing a game together, you're going to have the priority in stream. For those of you who might be worrying, oh my god, it's going to be pay to win to be able to play with Zombo. This is more future proofing. As it currently stands on the channel, I don't think it's going to be an issue with people being able to play. If I were to get to like 10,000 subscribers and, you know, I have 200 people watching me, it's going to be really hard to organize a Jackbox game in a civilized manner between you guys. Because you're gonna have people who are just trying to get in as quick as I can so they can play another round rather than caring about letting other people in. I think the good way to look at this as the channel currently stands is priority in the game together streams means that you're going to play a majority of the time. It doesn't mean you'll be there all the time, but you will definitely be playing a majority of the games as long as you're there. Now, before we get into the next tier here, I want to address these next two tiers are more just there for support. You know, it's just people who want to give more to the channel and don't really necessarily care about benefits. This is just as an optional option for people who want to further support the channel. So this next one here is called Pack Later. This is $34.99. You're a fan-tibbly-tastic. That's something I always say on streams. Again, just a way to give to the channel. No inherent benefits. What I will say is were this channel to grow and I were to get a merch store, which I mean, I don't need to like grow super huge to do merch stuff. I would apply merch discounts to this tier. Since coasters are a little meme in the community, if I made custom coasters for the channel, t-shirts, tank top hoodies for the channel that have like the logo on it or something, you know, that's the kind of thing that this tier would have like a merch discount. I think aside from like a merch discount, I don't see anything for this tier. And for all I know, maybe the merch discount goes on the previous one. I don't know how the whole merch stuff is going to work because I can't even think about that right now. I've been trying to figure this stuff out. So as it currently stands, this is just a way to support the channel more. There's no inherent benefits of this one over the previous tier. Likewise, the next tier is the Zamus tier, which is $100 US. Just a way to even support the channel even more if you so desire. And it's, again, completely optional. You get the benefits of all the previous tiers. There's no benefit to this one over the $15 one. It's just specifically if you want to do it. So that is the last tier that I have there. Hopefully you guys like some of the things in here. I know I still have some work to do in terms of adding additional value to some of the tiers here, but this is just a starting point so we can start somewhere and kind of go from there. So with all that said, the supers are all currently active on the channel right now. The memberships are going to be going up tomorrow, February 1st. That is going to be the first day that you guys can become members, any tier you want to do. But thank you to everybody who is looking to be a member or do super chats and any of that kind of stuff. I appreciate it a lot. I know it'll really help content grow and just provide me more means to up the quality of my content for you guys in various ways, both visually and even on like the editing standpoint. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching this. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.